Good morning, ACC faculty. It's Daniel, your facilitator for the Online Teacher Certification course. So we are starting week 7 in this course, so I wanted to give you a brief overview as far as some of the things you'll be doing this week. So if we're looking at the overview page for Module 7, we'll see a couple of different things. So you'll see, of course, your objectives as you always do your assignments, and then you do have a discussion board posting to do as well this week. So a lot of things to do this week. So first thing we'll focus on is going to be what you're going to be doing this week, which the focus of this week is going to be accessibility of your courses and more specifically accessibility of your content within Blackboard. So as you're going through this module in this week's content, I want you to keep in mind the student population that we have at ACC. So we have a very diverse student population, but what I want you to keep in mind are how students with varying abilities will be able to access the content within your Blackboard courses. So when I say that, what I'm talking about is how will students access your courses, your content within Blackboard that have visual impairments, that have hearing impairments. So when we're talking about accessibility, what we're really talking about is ensuring that everybody has equal access to the content within your Blackboard courses regardless of ability. So in that sense, we're trying to ensure equal access for everybody. So I want you to keep that in mind as you're going through this week's content, because accessibility is a very big issue. It's a federal statute that every higher ed institution and really that every for-profit, nonprofit, and educational organization has to keep in mind if they have anything online. So there's a lot of different regulations, a lot of different things that everyone has to do to ensure that the content is accessible, is equally accessible to everybody. So Module 7 is meant to give you a very brief overview as far as accessibility of online content. So this by no means is an exhaustive review of the Americans with Disabilities Act. So it's meant to introduce the topic of accessibility. So accessibility is one of the things that distance education is going to focus on more this coming fall and spring with some professional development offerings. So this is meant to be an introduction for everyone to this topic. So we'll go into the readings here. And so first thing that you'll see here is you'll have a brief introduction, as we always do. You have a folder here called Blackboard Ally, and this will give you a short video from Blackboard as far as what Blackboard Ally is and how it can help you. The next one that we'll go into is the accessibility in your online courses. And so what we're going to focus on in here is two different things. So we're going to talk about accessibility of your graphics in Blackboard and of your files in Blackboard. So keep this reading in mind as when you go into your assignments, you're going to have those two specific things to do here. So you're going to have Blackboard Ally for graphics, Blackboard Ally for files. So certainly reference back to the readings as there's going to be specific instructions with what you're going to be doing for those two assignments. Okay, the third folder you'll see here is going to have a lot of additional resources that really talk about accessibility within Blackboard, but also they expand on that topic a little bit. So you'll see that I've included in here a link to accessibility in Microsoft Word documents, accessibility in PowerPoint, the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, which are really applicable more to just online content, ADA compliance for online course design. So there's a lot of additional materials here for you to review. Again, these are additional resources, and I've included these here just because the topic of accessibility is an extensive area that covers a lot of content. But for the purposes of this training, I really want you to focus on the content within Blackboard. And some of this goes a little bit out of bounds in terms of outside of Blackboard, but if you think about it, you'll likely be importing Word documents into Blackboard. You'll likely be importing PowerPoint documents into Blackboard. So a lot of this does cover with what you'll be doing Not necessarily in this training, because in this training we're focusing on Blackboard Ally for files and graphics, but in terms of other content that you may be importing into your Blackboard shell. Okay, so if we go into your assignments, what you'll see here is you have two different assignments: Blackboard Ally for graphics, Blackboard Ally for files. Then you do have a test for this module, and then after you complete that test, you will also have a discussion board for this module as well. And some of you have already posted to it, which is great. So again, topic of accessibility, very broad but very equally important, because the goal is to ensure equal access to all of our students. So what we're doing here is we're taking a lot of proactive approaches in terms of, if I'm putting a graphic or if I'm using a graphic in my course, am I ensuring that there's some sort of descriptor on it? So if a student is visually impaired, how will they be able to know what the graphic is if they cannot visually see it, if they have a visual impairment? So those are the things I really do want you to start thinking about in terms of the content in your course. Keep our ACC students in mind, and keep the goal of accessibility, of equal access in mind as you're going through this week's content. So again, if you have any questions or concerns, please let me know. Keep up the great work. And again, I'm always available by email, by phone. If you want to come by my office to chat for a little bit, I certainly welcome that as well. So I hope everybody has a good week, and we'll see everybody soon.